Okay, so welcome to week 4. So first of all, we'd like to thank you for you, all of you who already finished the uh, group preference survey. So later at the end of the class, I will announce the group formation, and then from that moment, you can start working on your team on the final project. So this week we are going to talking about animation and engagement. So this is one of the cool thing and fun thing about uh, the our syllabus. So before we go to work to week 4, let's talk a little bit on week 3 assignment. So what is the most challenging thing about Twitter? The API. I see Joe already sent the some of the summary, some of the keynote you need to take note when you're doing the Twitter API. Actually, that's one say a lot of time. You know where you should looking for, but the JSON returned by API is quite long and a lot of information in there. You just need to get few information. But you need to know which one you should, either one you're looking for, right? So the API and what else? How many of you encounter 401, 403, 429? Actually, I have no idea what happened with Twitter API for a lot of people who create a new app recently. So you will receive a lot of 401, 403, and 429. The key I sent to you is the key from my Twitter app. I created that key like a years ago, and it's still working until now. It's still working well. So my Twitter app still working. I don't know why you. So that's why I send the key, and it you you cannot regenerate your key. Just copy that one and can run, right? So last week we learned about the award, how to use the award, PDP award to connect with the Twitter API, right? And then that's one again, that's one award 1.8. And if you want in your project, if you want to do with Facebook or Google, then you need to looking for some another board. Actually, Facebook they had the Facebook SDK, so see that's one award too. And we learn about user persistence, right? Every time you log in, you only need to log in once, and then every time you open the app, it remember, hey, this user only log in. You don't need to log in anymore, right? Just one time. And now, see, how do you think about the video, the walkthrough video? Is it helpful? Sorry, it's still in Swift 2. You need to convert this one to Swift 3. So we haven't updated the video, but at least you have some idea what you are working on and how you implement some of the basic things about that one. So some of the things perform segue with identifier. So this one another way to perform the segue, right? Remember before when we just, for example, when we tap on the table cell, it just automatically trigger the segue and move to the next view controller. But if you want to do it manually, programmatically from the code, and you have something called perform segue with identifier. And by now you should be familiar with the delegate pattern, right? You use this one, for example, when you post a new tweet and then you trigger the home that you just post something new, you want to reload that one on the home timeline, something like that, right? Dynamic constraint. Who did this one? Remember we have some cell that says this tweet is retweeted from somewhere else, and you need to add that one, right? A little label say this is retweeted, right? And how do you do that one? One of the ways to use the dynamic constraint, you can drag in the constraint and then you set the constant for that constraint. In the lecture note, I also talk about that one. Okay, so the common issue. This one, the second one, I see some of you. Do you know? Let me open this one. So you know about this one, right? The asset library, a little bit small. The asset.sc access. So this is where you will put all the images of your project in here. But then did you notice that they have 1S, 2S, and 3S, right? You know what does it mean? Why we have something like 1S, 2S, and 3S?
3S for six plus
Mm.
plus X is 5 and 5S.
Yeah, so it depends on the resolution of the devices you are going to run the app. So normally 1S is like for iPhone 4 and before that one, and then 2S is iPhone 5, iPhone 6, and for that one is Retina, and then 3S is for iPad, and then 6 Plus. Okay, so remember if you run on iPhone 6 and then you drag that one into 1S, and then when you run the app, you will see that one like the image is like broken. Right? It zoom in too big and then it's broken because your screen is, your resolution is Retina resolution, so it's quite big. You need to put that one into 2S, 3S. Okay, so this one is important. I would like to pause a little bit to talk about this one. So what happened with this one? Can anyone say what's wrong with this 3 view controller? This is the Twitter one. So first I have a navigation controller. That one, nothing wrong with that one, right? The second one is the home view controller, and then the last one, the third one is the new Twitch view controller. So you see here we have 2 segways. One segway from home view controller go to the new Twitch view controller, right? And then another segway going back from here to here. So the purpose of this person is that he want to go in back after he posts new Twitch, then he can go in back from here to here. But then this is not the right way to do the going back. If you want to go in back, few ways you can do that one. Either you can, if it's from the navigation controller, you can pop that one, pop the view controller is you pop it out from the navigation controller stack, or you can dismiss that view controller if you don't have the navigation controller thing. You can dismiss the new Twitch view controller. What happened is when we had this one, it's still going back, but actually it will create another view controller. It's not going back, it create a new home view controller. So it will like confuse stack. And then you from here you go to here again, you going back again, so it add 2 more. Every time you go to new Twitch view controller and you go back to the home view controller, it add 2 more on the top of that stack. And then by doing that way, it's still, if you just use it for a few times, it's still okay. You couldn't recognize any issue, but then it causing a lot of trouble there if you heavily use that one. If you call the memory issue, because it's not dismiss this one, but it just create a new one on top of this one. So you didn't see this one, but it just creating one more and stack up. So never ever do this one.
Sorry.
Don't create, yeah.
You mean when it come back, it will create new the home timeline and
Yep.
it will call the new like view log.
Yep, it will call the view log again. So the life cycle will trigger again for the whole life cycle for the home view controller. Right. So never ever do this one. Just one way. Do the set way only one way from this to this. Don't create the back one. You can do it a pop. So you pop that view controller out, or if you don't have the navigation controller, you can do the dismiss. Right. So remember this one, very important. And this is some of the highlight for assignment 3. So good job everyone. I know this one is really hard, and you need to spend a lot of time on this one. So you see some very cool, some nice UI, and some the very nice login screen. Right. Not just my one, just only one blue button. And look at the first one, you see some color, and then look at this one. It display more really. See, this is one of the cool things. It's not a view or full view controller, just a part you still see on the background, right? Right. The home view controller. Right. That's cool. Okay. So before we move on, any question on assignment 3? No. Okay. Moving to assignment on. Sorry, not assignment anymore. Anyone still want to do the assignment? Yes? No? So this week we are going to talk about the animation. This is the animation is this not the key of the without animation you still making your app working, right? But then with animation, so what will be the difference between one app that's like purely it's just working, no animation, it will look so boring. And so if you combine with the animation, you adding things to your app, it will make your app like really cool, really sexy. Actually this week we still have the assignment. So this is week 4, we still had assignment. Take a look on this one first. So assignment for week 4 is that we continue to work on the Twitter app, but then we create a home profile. And if you look at this one, we create something like, you see on the first image. So we create this one we call a hamburger menu. So for example, like Facebook, when you swipe from the left, right, you see some menu over there. So that's one we call the hamburger menu. And then in this one we have some instruction how to build the hamburger menu. So as you see here, we build the hamburger menu. We have the profile picture here, some of the menu, the item of the menu here. Right. And then we have the instruction here how to build the hamburger menu in Swift. And we have some gesture recognizer, so how we can trigger to show the hamburger menu when we swipe from the left, right? We swipe from the edge of the screen and then it will show. Where's my phone? Oh. Okay, so if you still interested in this one, so you can work on this one. It's optional, so you don't need to submit the assignment for first. There are some very cool things, and you may want to use this one for your final project as well, right? And then if you want, you don't need to go implement the full thing, but at least you can take a look how to implement the hamburger menu. Okay, so again, that's optional. So let's go to the walkthrough today. We doing some demo for the animation. Anyone used animate before? Use the animation before? Even in the one of the TipCam, we also one of the optional is to use to animate some very basic thing to do the animation for some I don't know what. It's up to your creative create some cool animation. Some people on the tip calculation app still doing very cool animation. We walk through that one by one today. This is chat app. No. Where is it? Oh, okay. Okay, so animation. What do we have here? Okay, so I built a single view application, so with only one view controller. So what do we have here is just one image. So you can put your image again. So this is where you should put all the images. Don't put it around in your folder here. So it looks very messy and very hard to manage the other thing. So you move everything here, and then within here, if you look at this, you can see they let you to manage that one in 1S or 2S or 3S. So it depends on your resolution. Because I'm running on iPhone 5 or iPhone 6, so that's it's all the devices I'm targeting. So I drag the item into 2S. Right. How to drag in this one? You just drag the image in and you put that one to 1S or 2S or 3S. It's up to you. Okay, so let's get back to this one. I have one image. So this is the UI image, right? And then one button, and then on here. So we are going to do some demo on the animation. So on view did load. So I remove this one. I don't need this one now. So nothing on view did load, right? But then I write the code for the go button. So when I tap on the go button, it will go to the on go, right? And then let's take a look on this on go. Okay, so remember we have to use the animation, right? So just UI view and then animate. So if you look at here, we have few options with the animation. So like animation using sprint with damping, animation, this one with completion block, this one without the completion block, this one animate keyframe, and then animate with duration, this one with the delay and with some of the options. So we will try one by one to see. So let's go to the easy one first. This one, just purely animate, just one step animate, and then we don't have any completion block here. So what do we have here with duration? So this is the duration of your animation, right? So I say 1 by second, so 1 second, and then animations. What do we want to put in the animation, right? So for example, I say, so I name the image. I create the outlet for the image, the pair image. Okay, and then I would like to move this one down around 300 pixels, right? And let's run and see what happens. Alright, so when it first runs, it just had the image here and then the go button here, and then when I click on go, so see it move. Yes, zoom a little bit bigger. Presentation. Okay, can see now. See, so what happens if I click go again? Nothing. Yes, it will continue to go down and go off screen. Bye bye. Okay, so that's just the demo of the very simple, the simplest animation, just only one step. But then that's when we want something more fun, right? Or something more complex, and you combine some other thing. So let's try the next one. UI view.animate. Let's try the one with the completion block. Okay, so I still put 1 second. Animation still the same. Okay, so what is the completion block here? So what do we want to do in the completion block? So when the completion block will be triggered, so as soon as it complete this one, it complete 1 second to finish this animation, you will move to the completion block. So what we want to do here, so I comment out this one, so it just happen once. So what happens if I still put this one and this one? Which one will run first? This one will run first, or this one will run first, or what do you think? Two things will run concurrently. It will run at the same time. It's the only, because this one is not wait until it's complete 1 second. It just trigger the animation is, hey, run this animation, and it run it immediately go to the next command, and then it will trigger this one to run as well. So two things will run at the same time. The only difference is the completion block. If you put something in the completion block, after it finish everything and then it trigger, hey, I'm finished this one, can you go back and execute this code, and it go to completion block. That's why, for example, like you do something like you load the information from movie database, you just, hey, load the information for me, and then you don't need to wait in there, you can do the something else, and then after when the completion block trigger, hey, I'm finished, and it can go in back, and then you can start to reload the table view. So that's the meaning of the completion block. So it's asynchronous, meaning it will not block your thread. It's still running from here to here to here. It not stop here waiting until this 1 second finish. Right. Okay, so let's comment out this one for now. What do we want to do here? So when the pair going down and then want to do something else, let's make it bigger. Assemble, right? So how to make it bigger? Cell. You know why we need to use cell, right? While we in a block then. So how to set to make it bigger? We have something called transform. Okay, so transform is to, what does it mean by transform? Transforming, changing something, right? So in this case, we want to make it like scale it up to like 2x bigger, for example. So when we use the transform, we will have something called CG of 5. Yes, this one CG of 5 transform. Okay, and then we have something, this one. So we want to transform scale, meaning we made it scale bigger. I want it to be scaled equally from both x and y. This one you can like scale the x to be very big and the y is just a little, like this one, it will be like straight image. But I don't want that. I want both sides to be the same. So I say I want to scale both sides to be 2x. Okay. Let's see. Boom. Ooh. So it just suddenly it become bigger. It's not smooth. It moving smooth from top to bottom, but then it just suddenly become really big. We want to make it like become bigger, but we had a smooth transition from the small one to be the big one, right? So how do we do that? How do we do that one? Any idea? Right. We can embed this one into another animation, right? For example, we call UI view dot animate, and then this one. I don't want another completion block here, so I want it to be bigger in another 1 second. So what will be the animation? This one, right? Right. So I move the thing here. So meaning after it takes 1 second to move the image from the top to bottom, and then within this one, when it finish, it will take another second to zoom this one bit to become 2x. Right. Boom. Right. So it's step by step. It makes you, by doing that's why you making the transition like look very smooth. Not like you don't want like it just suddenly come here, boom, it become like 2x bigger. Right. Okay, so what else? What else you wanna do? Let's see what else do we have? UI view dot animate. We have this one, animate with duration, delay, and then option. So where is some of the option? Right. Is it all about animation? We may have something else cooler. So let's try this one. Animate. I still put in within the completion block. So I say I want to do with option. So you move this one. Animate with duration and then delay option. Right. So duration to 1, delay. Delay means you want to delay this one to how long when you want to trigger this one. For example, you can say, hey, don't do this one after 0.5 seconds, but then I don't want to change do that one, just put the delay by 0. The option put it in empty. This is an array of option, then just put it empty for now. You cannot put that new, it should be an array, so just put an empty array now. And then the animation, this is we want some animation here, and then we want the completion block here. So okay, so what do we want to do here? I move the thing down here, right? So let's remove this one. So meaning in the completion block, I made it one bigger, like 2x bigger, and then what we want to do?
Speed.
It's waving. So let's try to make the bear waving, right? Let's have the hand here. Let's try to make it waving. So have to make it waving, like then you want to rotate, right? For waving, then you need to rotate. So how to do the rotation? So let's define something called angle. So we want to move it by some angle, right? So in this one, it in the script it use the float number, and I need you in radius. It's not the degree. You need to convert. For example, you want to move that one like 20 degrees, then you need to convert that one into the radius. Then have to do that. Okay, so convert this one into is it recognize the M byte? Let's move. So this is the constant, the pi constant. So to convert a degree to radius, multiply that one to M pi and then divide by 180. Okay, so I have the angle here, and we want to do some rotation, right? So rotation is also one of the transform thing, right? So let's see how we do the rotation. This one I did to it better, but now we want to do a cell dot bear transform rotated by, right. And then by what? This is the angle we want to rotate, right? So example, I put the angle here. Let's move this one. This one. No. What I want is after it become 2x bigger, and then I will. Okay. Make it a little bit nice. Okay, I made it bigger, and then I rotate completion, and I do rotation. Let's see what happens. Come bigger, and then nothing. So it didn't run to the. After it finished this one, it didn't run to the rotation. Let's see if it actually run to here. I should put a reset button to put it back to the original position. Every time we need to run again. Go. Get bigger. It actually go here, but then it didn't rotate. It should rotate by. No, right, it didn't change anything. So let me move this one up and see. Don't scale up, just rotate. no rotation. Is there anything wrong here? Why it's not rotating? So we had the angle. We convert this one. We want it to rotate 20 degree, and then it should do the rotation. What happened? Let's see what did we do. Transform. Oh, we didn't set the transform for. Okay, so it's the rotate is not doing by this way. We need to do something like this one. We need to set the transform for. Oh, sorry, where that? Yeah, we need to set the transform is equal to some GG of 5 transform, and then by doing that we need to do the let I call that one transform equal to cell dot pair, and we get the image and we get the current transform. So you to take a look at this one. Let's say this one the type GG of 5 transform. Alright, so when doing this, so we get the current transform of the image. That's the current transform of the image, right? And then when we have this one, and then we set this one equal to transform dot rotate by, right? So it's similar to the when you did for the here. When you want to scale up, it's also the CG of 5 transform. And in this one you do the scale, this one you do the rotate. Right? So you need to set this transform to be something else. You cannot like immediately call that function. So when you call that function, it's not assign that rotate function into the this picture, this image. So that's why it didn't run anything. Let's run it again. Where is it? Okay, go. Okay, so you see it just rotate a little bit, right? But then how do we want to make it like waving? Meaning we need to make it repeat, right? So how to do the repeat? So here you see the option is still empty now. So we have some option, for example, the repeat. See here, this is the type the UI view animation options. So if you type that one, UI view animation option, and then it have a bunch here. So what do we have here? The one we want to looking for is the repeat. Repeat means we want to repeat that one forever. So it's like it should keep repeating the same action again and again and again. We also have something else like is in, is out. So meaning it moving like slow at first and then faster and slow at the end, or it's fast at first and then slow at the middle and fast again at the end. So there's some option here, and then you can play around this one later. But now let's check out the repeat one first and see. Go. It's not really good, right? Like it's jerking, like it's shaking. It's not what one is moving backward and forward, right? It's not like this one is move 20 degree and then it's going back immediately and move again. That's not what we want. So you remember. So in this one you don't need to use it. Okay. So remember what else? You just saw auto revert, right? Okay, so we have something called auto revert here. That's what we want, right? Go. See? So now it's very smooth transition. It's like moving backward, forward. So again, that one is we have a lot of option there. Later you want to try out with that one and see choose the best one to your project. Right? But don't overuse this one. So this can help your project to be like look very cool, very sexy, and very fancy. But then don't spend too much time on the animation. When combine the animation, if you see just very few simple example, but if you know how to combine all the things, it can make a very complex animation, right? But then later, if you work on your project, don't spend too much time on this one. Make sure you make your app work first before you can even to polish your app to make it like look very fancy, something you can like moving, flashing, or whatever the animation you can think of. Right, so this is some of the examples. So what we cover, we have the animation without the completion block. We have the anime with the completion block. We have the animation with the option. So here is some of the option. And then what else? Where do we have? UI view, anime. What's missing? This one. Using Spring with damping. Is it? So many options, so many parameters. So okay, let's try this one, the long one. Time interval, the duration, still 1, delay 0. Nothing new, right? Okay, just put it one. Okay, so this one new. Using Spring with damping. So what is Spring? Spring, cái lò xo. Okay, so what is the effect of the spring? For example, this one like, no, it's not bouncing, it's not elastic. So this one is the elasticity. So meaning if you see the screen, it can like moving like this one, right? Back and forth like this. And then when you set something, the damping, so when you set this one to be equal to 0, so the value for this one is from 0 to 1. So 0 means it's very it's about very the length of the bouncing is very high, and if you want to set that one to 1 meaning no bouncing, meaning when it hits something, it's really like you drop this one, it hit to the table, that's it. It doesn't have any bouncing effect. Okay, so for this one, let's try something. For example, 0/2, meaning I want it to be bounced very fast, right? Initial velocity, so this is the velocity of the object when you drop that one. If you drop the object, let's say set it to be 10. Option, animation, so we put something here, and then completion and new. So what do we want to have inside the option? Okay, so let's comment this out. Okay, so we try the spring with damping. Oh, ooh, see that? This is so fast you didn't see that. I need to run again. I don't have the reset button, so I need to run again. Look at this. Look at the effect. Boom. You see? Okay, so what if we change this one to bigger, 0.8? So really close to 1. See the effect. Right. It's bouncing, but just a little bit, just very small. The length of the bouncing, right? So you can play around with that number. Normally it should be around 0.5. Should be good enough. It depends on your application. You want to create something that really get attention from the user or something. Okay, so we try the bouncing as well, the string with damping as well. And what else? Anything we missed? Or the anime keyframe. So UI view dot anime keyframe. So we have two This one is a combination, so you need to set two things together. Right, we have two things here: the anime keyframe and then add keyframe. So what do we use this one for? So the anime keyframe, you see, still very familiar parameter. The duration, I say for example 3 seconds, and then delay 0, and then the option empty, animation, and then condition with new. Okay, so when we want to use this one, we need to add the keyframe. So what does it mean? This is for you to create the custom path. For example, you want to move your image in the custom path. Let's open this one. For example, we had bear here. I want it start from here, right? I want it to move here and then move here and then move here. How do we create some custom path like that one? Or you want to combine some animation for this one. You want it to be like zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out 10 times. How do you do that one, right? Okay, so each step you need to add one keyframe. That's what we call the keyframe. So for every step, you need to add one keyframe. So for example, we try the simple thing. We want to move the image from here to here, and then to here, and then to here. So 3 steps, right? We need to add 3 times. So the first parameter is the relative start time. So at what time you want to start this keyframe? So it will be start from 0. This is at the very beginning. This is the very first step, so I start from 0. So relative duration. So this is the percentage. So I put this one because I had 3 steps. I put one and 1/3, and then I want to move this one by 30% of the time, meaning 1 second. I had 3 seconds here. The total duration is 3 seconds, and 1/3 of the time I want to use for this first keyframe. And the animation, I say I want where image dot center. So you know that one, right? We want to move the thing around, so we can use the center thing. Dot s, I want to move by s direction, so I say I add a 40. It's 1. Okay, I do the same thing. Another one. Okay. Should not have this one. I should not have this one, right? And not this one. Let align it. Okay, so I had 3 steps here. So the second step I will start from 1/3 of the time, right? Meaning this is from the after the first second for this one, the second second. Okay, I want to move I don't want to move the S anymore, but I want to move the Y direction, 100 pixel, right? And then the last one, I minus this one by 60, and I want to move the Y as well. So we want to move this one to another city, and then here we made from 2/3. So the first 1/3 of the time we do this activity. The second 1/3 we do the activity, and the last 1 second we do this one. So I see. So the first second, and third. See, that's how we do the custom path. So you can create like very complex path for the picture, the image to be moved, and then it will take a lot of time, right? Manually, you need to create one by one to add every one is to move 10 steps. You need to add 10 keyframes. Right? That's how you do the custom path. And then let me show you. This one is a little bit cool. I already prepared this one. This one also the anime keyframe, but it's cool animation. Okay, so let's take a look at it. What do we have here? The anime keyframe, right? And then within this one we have five steps. See, one fifth, and one fifth. So we have 5 steps. It adds up into 1 second. So the everything is 1 second. And what we do here? What do we do here is the CG of 5 transform. This one scale. So remember it scale up to 1.6 and then scale down to 0.6 and scale up and then scale down. So what is the effect? Can you imagine what is the effect? It's like the image bouncing. Okay, see that? That's the effect. So when we use this one, I don't know if you noticed, but some people doing for example, the Twitter. So when they favorite, they like a new tweet, so the like button will be like this one. The heart icon will be bouncing like this one. That's some of the cool feature I see. I don't know who, but one did that one. The animation for the like button. So when they like the tweet, it become bouncing. Yeah, question? No? Yeah, so that's one we just go through on the animation. We have 5, and then if you know how to combine that one, it's up to you. If you combine this one, you can create some very cool thing for your project, and it can differentiate from your project to another one. Right? Everyone doing the same thing, but when you show up to the audience, they see that your app has some cool animation, some nice UI, so very attractive to the people, right? So again, remember this one, UI view and animate, and we have 5 of that one. Later going back and then try something, try to play around with the option and the parameter, changing the number and see. This is some of the property of the UI view that you can animate, right? Recently we just do what? Moving the center. The center is what? The center point of your object. Beside that one, we also have the first one, the origin. Origin is the top left corner of your object. Right? It's up to you. You want to use origin or you want to use the center. Okay. And then the alpha is what? Anyone used that one before? Yeah, the opacity. You can make it like from clear to be totally 1 to E, meaning totally blocking the one behind this one. Frame and bow. So this one, a lot of people asking the question, what is the difference between frame and bow, right? Later when you this week we had an assignment, we will try all those things, and you will know what is the difference between the other thing and how and when to use the property. This week lab we had transform. So remember, transform we had 2 things, the rotation and then the scale. Right? And remember to set the transform, you need to assign that one to something else, not directly call the transform and then rotate it by. So earlier I did that mistake and then nothing changed, right? So remember you need to assign that one to something else. And you can also do the background color, meaning you do some transition from red to green or something, right? Now the content strategy, the stretching of the for example the image. Yep. So this is some of the things we just talked about. CG or file transform. Now we have the scale and the rotate. What is the difference between the make? You see one word there, make scale and scale. So what is the difference? What we just use? Scale, right? So you want it to be scale from, yeah, for example this one. Where is it? Rotate and then scale. Right. So we use scale, you to scale from your current transform. And when you max scale, it's not from your current one. So it means this one it compared to your current one, your current transform. For example, this image it has this transform by this, and you want to scale from this side to something bigger or something. But then max scale in when you make it, try the max scale to see it have why the parameters have. There's so many. Okay, for example, this one, like CG of 5 transform, and then make CG of 5 transform. Or is it still have make? This look like it doesn't have make. This one is still in Swift. Is it still available in Swift 3? The max scale. Before we had something like this, and then we can do the max. No more. Oh, it's disappeared already. Oh. Oh, so I need to update that one. No more Mac in Swift 3. It's only available in Swift 2 and before that one. Let's move this one. Okay, I change this one later. No more Mac. And then this one is how we convert degree to radius, right? And by the constant in Swift. There is some of the core animation. Let's open page this one. Doing this one, we can also do we also have something called CG transform 3D rotate. When do we have this one? For example, like you have a view here and another view on top. That one, when you do some transition from view to view, this one you can, for example, you can move this one, like rotate this one to review the one at the back for example. Then that's one we learn next week. We will learn how to do some transition from view to view, from view controller to view controller. That's also another cool thing. And then the custom curves, meaning the custom path, I just show you how to draw a custom path to make the image moving along that path. Right? The spring one, remember the damping is from 0 to 1, and play around with that number to see. And the last one, the keyframe animation. So how many steps you want to do, and then you need to add that many steps. This one, the add keyframe. You want 10 steps, you need to add the keyframe 10 times. Okay, so let's take a little bit 5-minute break, and then before we come back and talk about the lecture.